Welcome to another episode of Biz Money Talks with Tracey Bissett. I am your host, Tracey Bissett, a financial coach for entrepreneurs. And I'm so delighted we have a really special guest here with us today. Welcome to the show, Michelle DeNio.
Hey there. Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited to be here today.
Oh, you are welcome. And I'm really excited. I had the privilege of being a guest on your podcast before, and we really hit it off. We met in the Advanced Network. So excited that you're here today. And to let everybody know a little bit more about our guest, Michelle is a business coach and strategist. She helps solopreneurs and entrepreneurs get fully booked, which I know is important for so many people. Consider her your GPS for your business. She doesn't believe in out-of-the-box strategies where one size fits all approaches or do-it-yourself programs. She approaches every entrepreneur with a customized approach, and her strategy and route to get you there would be customized based on what you're looking for. And so really pleased again that Michelle is here, and would love for her to start by sharing a little bit more about her background, where she's located, her experience, and about her business.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd love to share a little bit. So I am in Southwest Florida in the United States. I'm originally from upstate New York, where it's very snowy and very cold. And my husband and I relocated down here to Florida about 7 years ago. And that's really when my entrepreneurial journey started in New York. I held a pretty high position in a manufacturing operations company with business development, sales, leadership, all of the above. Basically played all the roles throughout my career there, and then moved here, and it just wasn't, a lot of my skills weren't transferable to the area. It's a very different market, very different industry. And so really just decided that I was just going to take things into my own hands. I've always believed like that there's a million ways to make money in this world, right? Like there's so many different ways to make money. And I've been a natural born entrepreneur, I think, my whole life. And so just really decided to start networking, and it's just evolved. I can't say I have any like one specific moment. I've been full-time now for this will be my 5th year full-time. And it's been an amazing journey through a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, really.
Excellent. And similar to, I've moved around a little bit. I'm in a snowstorm right now. We were talking about before we hit record, but I left my corporate job and started my entrepreneurial journey as well about 6 years ago. So lots in common there. And we know that as business owners, it's so imperative that we have a steady pipeline of clients to drive our revenue, to make sure we can hit the profitability that we want. And we all want to do that. And sometimes you can catch yourself thinking that it will just miraculously happen, that there'll be just magically customers show up overnight. So many of us, I think it's a constant struggle. We may be not sure where to start. I know some people listening from those in my network, I know are always hesitant to get started and they're not sure how to do it. So I'm so excited that you're going to be here to talk to us about what we can do, get rid of some of these misconceptions, talk about actionable things that we can do so that we can drive revenue and profitability and really create the business that we want to fund our life and basically all of the things that we want to do, whether it's our business pursuits or our personal pursuits. Now, when you think about growth, would love to hear from your perspective, Michelle, what that means to you, and if you have any kind of pillars that go around that to help frame it for us.
Yeah, like I said in my bio, or what as you introduced me, I believe everybody's definition of growth, success, fully booked is completely different. And I think that in itself is growth, right? Just being able to understand that your definition is different, and that's okay. And you get to define what that looks like. But I always tend to come back to like my 3 C's. I use the 3 C's for just about everything and almost all of my processes, no matter what it is. But for this one, it would be, clarity, confidence, and a clear plan, right? You have to have a full clarity on exactly what it is that you want to do and what you're offering and where what you are really, really good at and what you enjoy. There's a huge difference in what you are good at and what you enjoy. And I really like to try to help people find that clarity on the things that they are both, that the combination of both, you're really good at them and you really enjoy it, because there's definitely certain things that we are good at, but it doesn't necessarily mean we enjoy it. I am good at accounting. I don't enjoy it. It was my past life. I don't want to do it anymore. I could do it, but I don't want to, right? So there's that clarity of finding that piece of what is it that you really love? And then the confidence to know that you're good at it. You're good at it. And you bring something to the table that other people don't have. And as a service provider or a solopreneur or whatnot, it's that confidence to know that just because something comes easy to you does not mean it comes easy to somebody else. And there's so many people say like, but this is so easy. I don't know why anybody would pay me for that. No, it's having the confidence to say, I understand that this is not something you're good at. I understand that this is really difficult for you, but I am good at it, right? And owning that, I think we have society and culture says that you really shouldn't, stand with that confidence. And I say you absolutely need it. Confidence is a huge one for a lot of people. And then a clear plan. You've got to have a clear plan. Like I said, I consider myself the GPS, and I compare that to, if you're trying to go on a road trip, most people don't just get in the car and start driving and hope to God they make it to their destination. They don't. They have a plan. They know where their pit stops are. They know they have an intention. They know how far they want to drive, where they want to go, what they're looking to do. And you need the same in your business. You have to have that clear plan of where are you starting, where are you trying to go, and what are the steps you need to take to get there.
Excellent. I love that. And so just to recap for those checking it out live or on the replay, clarity, confidence, and a clear plan is going to help you with that growth. And so many business owners are focused on the day-to-day, what's right in front of them, that they often lose sight on getting booked and keeping that pipeline full of revenue and potential clients. From your experience and those that you've worked with, what gets in the way of keeping that focus on that pipeline and making sure that you're targeting your ideal clients?
I think a lot of it, for what I see, is that chasing, feeling like you need to say yes to everybody, feeling like you need to, because there's that fear that another client might not come down the line. And so you say yes to something, even though when your gut is maybe saying no, or there's something off, and it's not necessarily, again, it's that fine line of doing something that you really enjoy versus something that you can do. Just because a client is asking you to do it doesn't mean you have to say yes. And I find that that's where people get stuck, is they've gotten themselves into a position of saying yes, right? But it's then what happens is they're not necessarily the right clients. It doesn't mean they're bad people. It just means they're not the right clients for you, which means you're constantly in this state of turnover, because if they're not the right client, the expectation is off. They're asking you to do something that you don't enjoy. There's just a lot of back and forth that happens that makes it so they're not getting the best result. You're not getting, you're not feeling super fulfilled. And so it's this constant state of turnover or turmoil, or just this like push and pull in your business that keeps you from getting there. Because that in itself, like if you take on a client that necessarily isn't a good fit, that can sometimes ruin that confidence, right? We go from feeling super confident, and then all of a sudden we have a client that we're doing something for that we really don't want to be doing. And all of a sudden the confidence drops. And that's where that is this constant cycle of what keeps people, I see, from maintaining that level of fully booked, maintaining that level of just joy and sustainability in their business. It's not to say that their business isn't making money, but it's not necessarily making profit, because they're either spending too many hours working with a client because it's super needy or something like that, or it's, taking on a client that you said yes to, and then next thing you know, they asked you to do this, this, and this, and this, and it's completely outside of the scope. And all of a sudden now what you thought you were going to be doing is no longer. Your profitability is tanked, your time is up, and you're completely out of alignment with everything that you wanted to do. And that makes it really, really hard to maintain that level of fully booked.
Absolutely. Now, you walk your clients through this, so would love to hear some actionable tips and strategies that our listeners and viewers can put into place for those who want to grow strategically in 2022.
Yeah, I call it the R.O.U.T.E to fully booked, right? It's a 5-part framework that I delivered. Like I said, consider me your GPS, because I think it's such a great analogy to, you get in your car and you go somewhere and the GPS tells you what steps to take. And so when you're thinking about your clear plan, you're thinking about it from a perspective of a route. The R is always reflection. What's working, what's not working. The reflection piece, I think, is something that we miss. We constantly are in forward motion. We very rarely look back. And when you can look back, there's so much information and there's so much data that little period of reflection can give you. And so reflect on what's working, reflect on what's not working, reflect on what you love, what you don't enjoy, like where do you find yourself the happiest and what in different things. So that's reflection. Organization is step number 2. Organizing your time. Or time is such a big one. And organizing and making sure that this goal that you have set in mind is actually in alignment with your time available. I have done this exercise so many times with people and find out that the goal that they're trying to achieve is not even physically possible. They don't physically have enough hours in the day to take on the number of clients needed to hit the number. So it's a reorganization of time and alignment with your offers and different things. And that leads to you, which is up leveling your offers. Meaning once you have that, look at it. If it's not physically possible, what needs to change? Do your offers need to change? Do you need to reposition them? Do you need to repackage them to make it so that you can serve more people in less time, less people with more time? Whatever that looks like, there's a up leveling. And then once you have all of those things, then you define who your target market is. And this step is fairly backwards from what most coaches teach. Most coaches teach define your audience and then create your offers. And I like to say, create your offers, create the things, find the things that you love to do, and then find the people that fit that versus the other way around. And so then you define who this is for. So for example, I have a client that has 3 different offers. One offer is for people who are established, who have certain things in place, so they have data. There's another offer that's very clearly defined for somebody who's new, that doesn't have data, that doesn't have anything in place. That's much easier to define once you have these offers. So that's why I always say target is separate and then execute. Execute. You've got to execute. We love to stay in creation mode. It's our safe space. It's where we are the happiest. It's where we find the most, it comes easy to us. We can constantly be in this state of creation, but to get booked, you got to execute. You got to execute. You've got to be aware. And then you got to put yourself back through the process all the time. And that's why I constantly say using this 5-part framework is, okay, you've made it out of your first destination. Start your route over. Reflect. How did it go? How'd your time go through? Do you like this offer? Is it working well? Is it not working? Is the target audience? Does it need a little bit of refinement? And execute again. So it's this constant state of working through this framework that keeps you proactive versus reactive.
Love that. So reflection, organization, up leveling, target market, and execute. So that's going to put us in good stead if we follow that. And certainly having a GPS like Michelle would be very helpful for us to do that with. Now, when you work with your clients and they use this R.O.U.T.E process and they've got you side by side as their GPS, what kinds of results are they seeing when they follow your advice and listen to your teachings?
A lot of what I try to really teach, well, I think, again, every client is different. So whatever that looks like, how they define fully booked, that's number one. I think for one, that's one of the biggest results is actually with my clients to really, truly define what that looks like versus what what the online space or what the world of shoulds should be. So eliminating the shoulds to actually create a business that's defined by them and nobody else. That's number one, most important to me. But also a sustainable level of income. For me, it's always focused on making sure that you're hitting a level of sustainability before you grow. I think a lot of people try to grow too quickly, and then that's when you get that fluctuating income. And what I try to help clients do is create a sustainable income. When it's sustainable, then we grow. Then when that level is sustainable, then you grow. And for that, ultimately, my clients end up with a roster full of dream clients doing things that they love to do, no longer doing all the shoulds, and a business that is in alignment with their life and one that doesn't run their life, right?
So important. And when you have that sustainable revenue, then you can count on your cash flow. You can predict with more reasonableness. And when the profit is there, you're able to, if you need to put resources aside to fund that next growth leveling up,
Right.
Then you've got that. So I think that's wonderful. And I love eliminating the shoulds, like making sure that you're creating the business that you want, not what you've been seeing on social media that you're told to have, and what it should look like. So it gives a lot of confidence when you're going on your own path and have the support beside you, I'm sure. And so before I let you go, would love to hear any tips you have for business owners based on your extensive experience. It could be something new that to mention, or it might be something that you've already mentioned that you want to make sure everybody's taking away. And as easy as they are to put into practice, all the better, because I know some people are still probably thinking about how do I get those clients? How do I approach them? I'm nervous. I'm a little bit shy. How do I do that?
Yeah, one of the things is I really would start with the reflection piece. To me, I think that's the most important. If for some reason your business is not fully booked or it's not where you want to go, spend some time reflecting on it. Reflect on every single client. Reflect on the current clients you have. Reflect on the past clients. Like, what made them a great client? What, was this one? What did you love about it? Especially when you can find your like clients that you got really great results with and you loved working with them. Sit down and spend some time to write down 3 or 5 things, like what made them such an ideal client, because you want to be able to duplicate that, right? Like if you loved it, how can you duplicate it? You can't duplicate it if you don't take the time to actually reflect on it, So the reflection piece to me is crucial. You have to understand. And then also too, look at all of the services that you're providing. Look at all of those things. Are you doing them? Ask yourself, do I like, why am I doing this? If the word should comes up at all in any of your answers, like I want you to reevaluate that, because the shoulds are, in my opinion, what's keeping you from that next level of growth. It's the shoulds because you're doing something that you don't enjoy. And I have even a little sticky note right here on my computer as a constant reminder that says you can't scale a business you don't enjoy. At some point, you will burn out from that. And so you've got to find that balance of what you really, really love. And when you can do that, that's it's the reflection to me 100%. But then it's the execution piece. Look at your efforts. Look at where you're at. How many clients are you reaching out to? Are you having conversations? Like, again, with the 3 C's, conversations lead to collaboration, connections lead to conversations that lead to clients, right? Like, are you connecting with new people? Are you having conversations with people? Do people know what you do? Are you clearly articulating it? Do they even, or are you just assuming that people understand what you do based on your tagline? Don't make that assumption. Get in and make new connections and have those conversations. If you're not fully booked, look at where are you spending your time? That is 100% connections. 100% will lead to new conversations that will lead to clients. And whether that's a conversation immediately, not to say even like if I had a conversation with Tracey right now, is she going to become my client? No, but she now knows who I am, what I do. And so when she runs across somebody, when you run across, you're going to keep me top of mind, right? So I look at that too. There's a lot of people that hide behind their keyboard and expect, like you said, they just build it and they will come. That mentality doesn't work. You've got to get yourself out there. How are you showing up? Are you maintaining some level of visibility and authority? Do people know what you do?
Absolutely. And certainly you can't get feedback on yourself or on your offerings unless you talk to others, because nobody can provide it. You're just making up the reasons why you're not finding clients, or maybe why people are not taking your offers. So love that reflection around the ideal clients, because also when you're working with your ideal clients and helping them get great results, they're going to tell their friends who are probably also like your ideal clients.
Exactly.
So it's going to spread around, and everybody should keep it in mind. Those connections lead to conversations that lead to clients. So I think that's a really great nugget. We want to make sure we know it, but we don't always keep it top of mind. Now, before I let you go, would love to hear what you're working on now and where people can go to learn more about you and your services.
Yeah, what I'm working on now, really just honing in, and I am really working on, I put a goal in mind at the beginning of 2022 that I was going to have 100 coffee chats this year. And I actually posted about it on LinkedIn, and it got a lot of great feedback. People were super inspired by it. So just kind of casually, not for anybody, just creating like this 100 coffee chat club, right? So like we can connect and using the hashtag on LinkedIn, which I think is so fun, whether it's 100 coffee chats or 10. Some people said they want to commit to 10, whatever that looks like, but just being able to hold each other accountable, but also being able to shout out the people that you've had those coffee chats with, and then other people see it, they can connect and all of that. So that's kind of a fun new project that I'm working on just through the power of connection. And I love that. And so that's on LinkedIn. That's definitely where you can find me most times. I hang out most on LinkedIn, but also in my podcast. My podcast is where I put all my best content. It's where I put all my best little nuggets. All the podcast episodes are short and sweet. They're less than 10 minutes at best. Unless I've interviewed somebody, they might go up 15. But it's called Strategy in Small Doses. And that is 100% where you can learn more, get a little dose of tough love when you need it, but also some actionable quick tips too.
Excellent. And I'll make sure I put your LinkedIn link as well as link for the podcast after the replay is done. And we'll make sure as we're posting on YouTube, we've got that as well so that people can check you out because I think that's great. And I did want to comment on that because sometimes I'm a little bit of the tough love on the money side and on the finance side. And Michelle is certainly going to bring that to you and call you out if you've got some misconceptions or you're deluding yourself a little bit about some of your activities or things that may or may not be happening. So all from a place of wanting you to do well in your business and to help you.
Absolutely.
So, excellent.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Michelle. It's been a fun chat. We certainly learned a lot. I love how you framed everything around the clarity, the confidence, having that clear plan. Love the idea of the R.O.U.T.E and with the reflection, organizing our time. And I know, and I see it so often with service-based entrepreneurs who have got these lofty goals, but they can't physically get there in the way that they're trying to do it. So being very realistic about what you've got to charge and what you've got to offer to hit those goals, bringing your offers to where they need to be, getting to the right people, and then just executing the heck out of it through those connections, conversations, and leading to clients. And I had such a fun time on your podcast, and I know that people will enjoy that as well. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I had a great time chatting. And if anybody has any questions, my DMs are always open. Please do not be afraid of the DM. If you have a question, ask. I'm always open to answering questions.
Excellent. And for those who might not know what it means, that's direct messages on probably LinkedIn is probably her best place to find her, where she's very active. And that new project sounds really cool with the 100 coffee chats for 2022. Yeah. And for those who want to keep the biz money conversation going and have a nice place to hang out with fellow business owners, you can join us for our Biz Money Club. We meet weekly. It's a regular meetup. You can drop in when you can. We'd love to see you there. And you can sign up at bizmoneyclub.com to join us for that regular conversation. Very informal. No set agenda. Just drop in, have the chat on the weeks that work for you. And so thank you very much. Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for everybody for listening. And until next time, take good care and stay financially fit.
Awesome. Take care, guys. Bye.